Hello everybody, welcome back to my movie review series. Today we'll be discussing a Netflix original. I believe it's a Netflix original. It's certainly on Netflix, Luckiest Girl Alive. Just got finished watching it from my home theater, aka my little loft area. But again, I've not been to a theater in a minute because it's kind of far away. But we know how we do these ones. I'll give you my overall impressions and grade. I will give you, after that, if you want to watch the movie off my recommendation or otherwise, you want to shut off the movie because I'm going to give you a plot synopsis as best as I can remember the development. We'll be talking about the characterization and character development, and we'll be talking about major themes presented in the piece. So let's pull up the overview. It's starring Mila Kunis, who could definitely get piped up. Excuse me. I said excuse me. A writer's perfectly crafted New York City life starts to unravel when a true crime documentary forces her to confront her harrowing high school history and questions the choices she made as a teenager. And it is a mystery drama. We got some mixed reviews. We have 47% on Rotten Tomatoes, 54% on Metacritic, 6.4 out of 10 on IMDb, and 79% of Google users like the movie. So, again, as it stated, it's a writer going through dealing with topics of rape, school shooting, marriage, career, progression, and opening up about trauma. So, again, it kind of runs two simultaneous storylines about a traumatic event that happens in Ani Finelli's past. Her original name is Tiffany, and after a tragic event, she goes by Ani. So you have two kind of storylines going at the same time, just the present day of her working on her marriage and her career and flashing back to traumatic scenes in the past. So overall, I actually liked it. I was kind of surprised with those ratings, but again, well, I don't know. But I thought the tonality of the piece was well done. I thought the acting could have been a little better. There's a couple lines Ani delivers, Mila delivers that are just not convincing, like when she's angry, yelling at her fiance Luke Harrison. A couple of those scenes, just her being angry, aren't super convincing. But the overall tonality of the piece I liked. For a drama mystery, I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was on the upper end of entertaining. So I'll give it a B+. Like the tonality of the piece, I thought the plot development was what I thought the writing was rather interesting, just kind of something new as opposed to a superhero movie, cops and robbers, good guy, bad guy, a kind of a crummy horror flick. So again, nothing super crazy, but I did think the writing was engaging, kind of well done. I think the acting could have been stronger. Certainly enjoyed it. Certainly thought it was entertaining, and would recommend watching this one for a drama or a mystery. So that's really the overall impressions and grade. And now if you've not watched the movie and would like to, shut off this video now because we'll be discussing the plot synopsis. So the movie starts off, again, Ani Finelli's, I don't know, early 30s, late 20s, early 30s, maybe late 30s. But working at it, she's working as she's a chief editor at like some female kind of like sex lifestyle paper. So she's writing a lot of important pieces about how to have simultaneous orgasms, how to give a proper hand job to an uncircumcised penis, how to do proper oral sex. She's writing a lot of hit pieces, and she's trying to further her career as a writer or as an editor. And so her boss that she's got a good playful relationship with, Lolo Vincent, who is like the head editor or owner of the paper that she's working at. And throughout the movie, she's trying to get to the New York Times. So she's engaged to Luke Harrison. He's a kind of a big shot. I don't know if it's finance, but he's got a good job offer from London. So right at the beginning of the flick, they're doing well. Luke has this great offer to move to London. Ani is trying to get some offer to come through about from the New York Times, but the London offer comes first. So throughout pretty much the storyline of the present day, Ani and Luke is again trying to like plan their marriage and decide where they're going to live, and like again just career development at a young family. So just kind of going on there. They go looking for knives, and even at the beginning of the movie, Ani's having flashback scenes. Quickly on in the movie, you learn that the traumatic event is she survived one of the deadliest school shootings at a private school. And you learn more about how the plot develops from there. So they're knife shopping, and she's having flashbacks to break-ins, like when the gun's coming through the window and having to use a knife and seeing blood and stuff. So you have some premonition that there's some development that she had to use a knife at some point. And so they go out to eat something. There's another minor plot development, like she tells Luke everything except for some things, and they go eat pizza, and then he goes to the bathroom and she shoves 3 pieces of pizza in her mouth real fast and says she's full, and Luke's like barely ate anything. So I don't know if that was supposed to be something about I don't know, but that was a scene. So that happens, and then on the flashback scenes, you start getting Ani and her mother is, what's her mother's name? Dina Finelli. She's a working class mother. I think she's a single mom, but she gets Ani into this new school. I think it's Brentley. I think it's Brentley's the school they go to in the movie. But gets her into a nice private school, and she starts meeting friends and the sports kids, the cool kids, and the not cool kids, and the smart people, and then everybody else. But there's a couple different ones in there. I don't have them all written down. I didn't recognize them all. We have Dean Barton, also in the present day timeline of the movie. Dean Barton was also involved in the school shooting, and he is in a wheelchair. So Annie is kind of avoiding this reporter. I forget. I think it's Aaron Wickers, light skin, kind of light skin black dude, not super light skin, not super yellow bone, but yeah, Aaron Wickers he's basically an investigative journalist. Basically, Dean has come out and said that Ani, her name is also Tiffany, goes back and forth in the movie, but that she helped plan the school shooting. And so he's trying to write a book. He's helped a lot of people. He's getting a lot of publicity, and Annie has been reluctant to discuss the incident. And so on the flashback scenes, you have them, go meeting friends at school, and then they go to a party. And they go to a party, and she goes with I forget again. There's on the younger time frame scene. There's Arthur Finneman. You have Liam. You have a bunch of other ones, but don't have Peyton Powell. A bunch of other people that just don't have character names. There was an Asian girl that ends up getting killed. But basically at the party, she's drinking a lot, and she gets gang raped by 3 dudes. And so one of them being Dean Barton. And on the present day timeline, Dean Barton is in the wheelchair because there's a school shooting. Dean Barton he's bullied somebody else. He told somebody they're going to go smoke pot in the woods and took a shit on their chest. And then, and I think that's the dude who does. So basically, there's a school shooting to get revenge on Dean and just the bullies at the school. And it's definitely Arthur Finneman's one of the shooters, and another one of the kids is a shooter. And so Ani gets raped by the 3 dudes. She's kind of drunk, they're kind of drunk, but at the time, the production of the show is you're kind of not sure, kind of, but towards the end, again, it's more just Ani's character development and forcefully saying that she's definitely raped, owning up to all the nitty-gritty details of what occurred in her life. And so after she gets raped, she runs out of the party, and she runs into a gas station. In the gas station, there is a teacher from her school that recognizes her. The teacher basically helps her, clean up. She's literally running barefoot in party clothes through the rain. And so he helps her get it cleaned up. He's like, I have to call your parents or the police or something. I can't be your teacher and then have you, taking showers at my house. I have to do something about this. So they go into school the next day. The teacher has told the principal, and not super great character development, but I guess Dean has some sort of political pull at the school or something. So that could have been stronger development there as to exactly why Dean. But the teacher gets fired and nothing happens to Dean. So it could have been stronger plot development as to exactly why Dean would have any sort of pull. They don't give you any sort of indication there. But the teacher gets fired, and then the people. Once Ani learns about, I think it's Arthur having his chest get shit on, or one of the other kids get shit on. Then there's the school shooting. One of I think Olivia Kaplan, the Asian chick, she gets killed. It's not a gory movie at all. But two of the kids come in and start shooting up the school, and so they kind of They spare a couple people. Ani's in the thing, and again, she's gotten gang raped by 3 people. And one of the shooters, it's her, a shooter, and one of the dudes that gang raped her. And the shooter's like, "Here, don't you wanna shoot him?" You know, in the movie, she's like, "I kind of wanted to," but then she takes a knife and stabs the shooter in the neck. And so, this is after she's finally agreed to do the interview with Aaron Wickers. And so she's back at the school giving the interview, and she agrees to do it under the terms that that Dean would not be in the school or around her at the same time. And so basically, Dean admits, on the present day timeline, that she did not have anything to do with the school shooting, which in the early or the earlier time frame storyline, Dean says she does, and the police initially investigate and look into that. But so he takes that back, but he says, basically, Annie sets him up by recording it, goes to one of his book signing things, and gets him to admit that he raped her. After Annie turns into she leaves the school once she sees Dean, then she turns in a draft to her boss, Lola Vincent, at the ladies' lifestyle magazine, and she was like, you need way more details. You need to be way more specific about exactly what happened. No generalities. Be specific. Give us the nitty-gritty details. And so she sets up Dean to admit that he raped her. At the same time, he blackmails her and says, if you said I did rape you, then I'm going to double down on saying that you were part of planning in the school shooting. Now, on the earlier time frame, her mom, she gets turned away again right after the shooting. Again, there's a memorial, and Ani and Dina Finelli get turned away from the thing, and that's when Dina learns that Annie was raped and she didn't tell her mom. And so that was another big thing. When she got raped, she didn't want her mom to find out. So that happens. Again, they're going to get married, Ani and Luke, and so basically once her piece gets accepted by the New York Times, Luke isn't super happy about having all the details out there, or being proud of her for being strong, or moving on. So again, that was kind of a weak scene to me when they kind of break up or end the engagement at the rehearsal dinner or whatever. And so that was kind of a weak development for me there. Again, just plot development of the characterizations. But so they break off the wedding. Ani's piece gets accepted to the New York Times. Before they break up, Ani does get an offer from the New York Times, and Luke is like, this is only 10% raise, so it's not a big swing up in your career. But the kind of resolve to the end of the film is just she breaks it off with Luke, and she's got this nice ring, but she wants to pursue her dreams and be a writer. So she has a nasty interaction with somebody that likes Dean Barton, the dude in the wheelchair. And again, she's conflicted of, should I feel bad for someone who raped me because he's now in a wheelchair? Nah, if you get hit with the 223s after getting raped, I wouldn't feel too bad. But that's kind of a major theme. But she becomes, again, the boss bitch at the New York Times. So again, the actual sustenance of the plot, you still have the career-driven stuff, the relationship stuff is kind of trite or cliche to me. The actual the school shooting, rape kind of major themes. I thought that was decently well written and developed well. Again, as a piece of entertainment, I was at least engaged in the writing more so than a lot of movies I've seen. So B+, thoroughly enjoyed it. Again, major themes, feeling bad for wanting revenge against being profoundly traumatized. Again, just depends the severity of the crime of the individual. Again, once someone violates your consent, you should be able to respond. But for me, example, again, I got D-raped. I was forced to not have sex or socialize to any extent at any point in time because of criminal activity. But we've talked about being super traumatized to the point where you can't move on in any context. It doesn't make any sense to me. I think, when you see a murderer, someone whose kids got murdered, hugging the murderer and saying, we're all in this together, that's the most pathetic shit ever to me. So, again, still some insecurity aspects of the thing, but again, just the tonality of the piece, the mystery aspect, the drama, what's going to happen next, I thought that was there for this piece. So B+, certainly liked it. In school shootings, obviously, this will be dedicated to the 14 school shootings that will happen in the next 14 seconds here in the United States. Just take a moment of silence. Nice.
So, and the relationship stuff was pretty again trite, cliche, and just the career, the husband supporting the wife's career dreams, being out in the open, being strong. That writing wasn't super strong, but any other major themes? Getting along, there's a scene where Ani calls one of Luke Harrison's aunts a flabby cougar, which I thought was kind of funny. And this movie is slightly narrated. Another thing I did notice, some of the lines could have been delivered clearer. Like, they just have a scene, and as an English speaker listening to English, I'm like, what did they just say? Wait, what? So it's like, again, just on all the Netflix TV shows, the low light scenes always get me, and also things, the audios, if it's not clear, and when you're writing and it doesn't make logical sense, I literally can't follow it. So that's the things I noticed. But I did think for a mystery drama type of show, I definitely think I did that, and I was thoroughly entertained watching it as a movie, something to do for 2 hours. So highly recommended. Again, I don't really know any other major themes, so I thoroughly enjoyed it. Highly recommend it. B+, and I hope you go watch Luckiest Girl Alive movie. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.